Okay, you guys, let's do this. It's going to be so professional.
Okay.
Like, so professional. Here we go. Well, welcome to the Live Support Podcast with your hosts, Michele and Boone Colson, a couple of clean comedians who support each other and others through comedy's wacky and winding roads. I hope you're ready. Get set. Let's go. Since podcasts have a catchy tune, we wrote this song for Michele and June. Clean comedians are best friends too. Oh, it's so good. And you never know what they'll say or do. Here we go, sing with me on Live Support, with Michele, who's really short. We'll have a ball, with June, who's really tall. They have fun, interviewing comedians on Live Support, with Michele, who's really short. Now it's time to start Live Support.
The Live Support Podcast is brought to you by the Hot Breath Comedy Network.
Wow, give yourself a round of applause. Welcome to the award-winning Live Support Podcast. I'm your host, June Colson, here with Michele with one L, Trisha's sister. Don't call me Shelly, Rhonda Colson Corey's friend, Michele Van Dusen. Hello, little one.
Hello, how are you today? Actually, don't answer that.
I'm great. Wonderful. Really? No, really. How are you?
Are you? I am really, really happy. Okay, so I don't know if you could see, but I have 2 tea bags in my tea because I have discovered the best combination of teas ever. Okay, so and separate, they're fantastic teas. Together, they're amazing.
Okay,
So
let's just. Last episode started with a soap commercial. This episode is starting with a tea commercial.
no,
I'm not going to tell you what's in my solo cup because it's none of your business, Michele. Actually, no, I will tell you because this adds to my frustration today. Water and lemon, June. Drink more water. Drink more lemon. I don't know how I'm going to survive this episode of Live Support. I drank so much. Actually, I didn't have and I put lime in it. I like that taste better, the lime.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how I'm gonna last through this podcast because this really disrupts my life when I drink water. So I hope you're happy. Go ahead and share with us your tea that is not a sponsor. We make no money off of. What's the magical combination, Michele? Share with us.
Well, before I actually tell you that, because I did talk about the soap last time, I just want to say the Rose District soap is because it was a shop in Broken Arrow, not in Tulsa. It was a new one opening. And so I was wrong on saying, no, it says Rose. It's a different website. Anyway, but it's still Magnolia soap. Okay, not a sponsor. So
we'll go ahead with another not a sponsor. What you got?
The teas. So I have a
mint. Michele, don't tease me.
So there's a mint melody, which, just by itself, mint tea is amazing. I didn't know how great mint tea was until our friend and comrade in comedy mentioned it to me. Like, oh, that's my favorite tea, mint tea. I'm like, what? Rhonda Corey, because we were at.
It's a Rhonda Corey moment. I gotta find it for notes. I threw mine at you. Sorry. Keep going.
You know what's anyway? So that's a Rhonda Corey moment. Ta-da! Minty, and then I always enjoy drinking throat coat, which it's very soothing. Well, put them together. Oh, it's like a health bomb. Yeah, it's so good, so delicious. So not a sponsor. Both of those, bam, amazing. Okay, so. There's that.
It's great. That's great.
So why are you frustrated?
No, I'm losing it, man. I cannot deal. I have a computer that I'm pretty sure archaeologists dug up somewhere and just knocked some dust off but no, it's my fault. I have 29,682 pictures on my Mac. 20,000, yes.
Or this
Michele, okay. Michele has the ammunition today. Here, let's just kick her while she's down. Michele, while I'm down, while I've had a frustrating day, Michele just popped up, a private picture that I just sent her of myself as I couldn't get logged on. Now we have the triple chin surprise Huckabee face, and you can add to it the single cross-eyed sparkle girl who's about to throw her computer out in the street in the pouring down rain. I can't get apps to load. It's just so old, and I have a good camera. I have a good mic that hooks to that, but I keep having to do our podcast on my iPad. And I know it's first world problems, but I can't. I bail when it comes to technology. I don't even put my stuff in my calendar in my iPhone. I have a paper calendar. I have those. I know what that is. It's an external drive or
Yes,
external,
not a
right?
sponsor. Easy Store. You need
Yeah.
to get this to get all your pictures off your computer. Just
Yeah, I have one, Michele, and it has about 14,000 photos on that one.
I have
Like,
4.
yeah.
I
Anyway,
have
I couldn't get started. I just couldn't get started today, and I was just doing my best, and it was really frustrating. And Michele, you were really helpful. So thank you so much for the random text, and that I felt safe sending you an unflattering photograph of myself, and I
I
don't
think it's a
know why.
great picture. I think it's a great picture. I just don't know how you got your eyes to do what they did.
Hmm.
Like that was
For
like,
our listeners,
whoa.
it's just one eye that's crossed, not both. Just a really frustrated face with one crossed eyeball. You asked me how I did that. I have no idea. I honestly think that, like, have you ever blacked out when you were so frustrated? I think I
Um,
blacked out and then took
no.
a selfie and sent it to you. I think that's what happened.
I love it so much. I love the picture so much. At first it scared me a little bit. I'm like, "Oh, no," because you look very frustrated and confused. And then I realized computer issues. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
How
get
long
it.
should a computer last? Because I think I've had it at this house, the house before I was at for 4 years. The house before that, I was there for a year. The house before that, I was there for like 6 years, maybe 11 years old. My computer's 11 years old. So I guess that's part of the problem.
You
It's
yeah,
been around
you need an
for,
upgrade.
I do.
It would be fine if technology didn't keep changing and they didn't keep sending updates and things like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Like brand new phone, right? And at least every other week, new update, new update. I'm like,
Yeah.
why? It's so frustrating and irritating. It's just like, relax. It wasn't broken. Stop trying to fix it.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, I think that's what I got going on. On top of that, filed taxes today. So, I mean, it's a great
oh,
day to just have a positive conversation with my best friend, just smile and put on a show. But seriously though, that's life, y'all. That's life. And today it's been frustrating. It's a rainy day. My computer wouldn't work.
oh,
I don't. Yeah, my taxes went okay, but not great. And yeah, and then I couldn't even get logged on to do the podcast. So
oh.
what do you
Well,
do, Michele? What do you do when you get frustrated? What do you do when things are not clicking for you?
first I check to make sure that the mouse is working right and put a new battery in if
In
the mouse
life, Michele, not on your computer. In life in general, what do you do
if things aren't clicking.
if things are
Uh,
just not happening? If you're just having a rough time? Because I think a lot of times as comedians, people think that we
you're
just
always
have
up.
fun, silly, lighthearted, that we're extroverts and that it's just constantly, I want to put on a show and everything's fun. And we have real lives and real frustration. Actually, some comedians have made a living out of ranting. There's ranting comics who rant about the stuff that they're frustrated about. And I'm starting to think that might be the thing that I do.
Well, you asked what I do. See,
There's
that's the money
space.
shot right there. I usually put Legos together. Again, not a sponsor. But this is the most relaxing thing that kind of helps me get my brain calmed down and fixed on something else. And while I'm doing that, I can process through all the feelings and thoughts of, okay, what do I have to do this, I have to do that. But having a set of instructions and something to do with my hands, it's very helpful. That's one thing that I do. Another thing that I do is I just put on some worship music or music that inspires me,
Yeah.
depending on, usually you start off with this like a melancholy kind of a thing, and then you can get more jazzier or more life involved.
Yeah.
Sometimes just classical music, because classical music, just instrumental classical music, it actually helps your brain get calm. There's something about, because it's like mathematically, doing things in your brain. It's a wonderful thing. Music itself is a great connection. Um, and that's why we have so many different genres of music, because people are connecting with their emotions and they're putting
Yeah.
it out in their song and their word and things like that. So that's just a couple things. And then the other thing I do, what I like to do, is tell really silly jokes, So like,
Michelle, no.
um, oh
No,
yeah,
we can't do it
yeah.
today, Michelle.
Yeah,
Don't
we're
do it.
totally doing it. We're totally doing it. And we're gonna put it up here at the front, my joke of the week. Because this past week, was the solar eclipse kind of a thing, right?
Huh?
So what did the sun bring to the solar eclipse party?
What, Michelle?
A light snack. What?
Wow. Hey, okay, so the solar eclipse for you guys, was it how much of it was eclipse? Like how much percentage or whatever did you guys get? Do you know?
Well, considering I got out there like apparently after it was over, I don't know. Like it was like it just looked like a normal gray day for me. I never really noticed anything like super dark for where I live.
Yes.
But other people are like, "Oh yeah, it was so dark." I'm like, I didn't see that. So, but I was outside, having fun with my camera. Like I have a picture of me trying to hold the sun, doing those
Oh,
little things. I,
yes.
I did I did silly things like that. Um, and then I thought, this is a waste of my time.
Really?
So,
I watched it. I watched it. Because we were like in Paducah, Kentucky, it was part of the path of the totality or whatever.
mhm.
And here in Bowling Green, we were in the path of totality in 2017. So that was really cool. My brother in law actually posted a YouTube video that he had taken. They're such goobs. My family are so gooberish and hilarious. And we were literally like on floats in the swimming pool watching it. And it was really wild because when it's like the total eclipse, it changes everything. Even the shadow, your shadow on the ground is warped, and it's really neat
Mm.
stuff if you like pay attention to, what's going on, and not like you, Michelle, who are just like,
Well, I
there's
did
the sun.
notice. Yeah, look, I was out there and I was looking at my shadow. I did like nothing was different or that kind of thing. But I did, as I was out there pondering, I was like, what did the moon say to the sun during that eclipse?
What, Michelle?
Just passing by.
I'm
But you
gonna
know
pass
what?
on by that joke. I'm gonna pass on by. Okay, we
but
got
but
enough.
here's the thing. You know what the sun said back?
What?
Pleased to heat you
Are you done,
for right now.
Michelle?
Go
Are you
ahead.
done? No, here it was. I mean, what blows my mind is it was just a little sliver of the sun left,
Yeah.
um, and that was it. And that was enough to just light up the town. Like I mean, it looked like a rainy day. It had that vibe to it, and it
Yeah.
was. Yesterday morning it was rainy. There were clouds everywhere. And then about the time that it was almost halfway across the sun, the moon was almost halfway in front of the sun, the sky just opened up. It was crystal clear and blue and beautiful, so I was able to watch it. But it was neat. It was enough that it was almost like dusk, and
Hmm.
the birds stopped chirping and the crickets started chirping, and it's just unique. But there's a lot of construction going on around me, so like I was sitting outside with my Sonic goggles on. Yeah, Sonic was really cool. You could get free glasses
Not a
with
sponsor.
a slushy.
Ooh,
I
what kind of
know.
slushy did you get?
It was like an Eclipse. It was the blackout slushy or something, and it was like a grape slushy that
Mm.
had ice cream, vanilla ice cream in it, and it had all these sprinkles and stuff. I am not a slushy gal, but give me a slushy top with ice cream
And a free gift.
and a
Boom.
free gift, and you got the glasses for it. And so, like the glasses were, I don't know, I think the slushy was like $3.99 or $4.99. So it wasn't a bad deal. Wasn't a bad deal. But also I was thinking, are slushy people really the experts in optical protection? I don't know. I'm not
Nope.
sure.
Did you get a Route 44, like where it was a huge one, or did you just get a
No,
normal
no. I
size? No.
totally do. The sugar in that, I can't imagine what that would have done to me. I usually don't eat that much sugar, but I enjoyed it. I truly enjoyed my slushy. But we did it. We watched the Eclipse. To bring it around to comedy, there's a lot of people who are doing Eclipse material, right? There are a
Yeah.
lot of people, you see clips of the, see what I did there?
And their Eclipse because it's electronic.
It's electronic. That's
What?
right. It's you adding to it. There are a lot of people doing clips and bits and stuff about the Eclipse,
Yeah.
um, which I think is smart. It's fun. It's topical. But as far as long lasting, unless something really crazy cool happened to you during that eclipse, that's pretty much the only time you can use that material.
Yeah. Which the topical stuff, so, the Easter, the Christmas, any
Mhm.
of the holidays, I noticed that some people, do a video every day or a little clip every day of, like, the different made up holidays. Like, "Hey,
Yeah.
today's National Hot Dog Day. Today
Yes.
is National Ice Cream Day." I only pay attention to those if it's involves food, and then I can
Right.
just go ahead and celebrate,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I don't put that out there. I mean, it's nah.
Yeah, National Sun Day, like it's your son, you're supposed to celebrate your sons. That has nothing to do with food.
Oh,
Who's
wait, what?
that?
Wait, you don't see, and National Sons Day should be you eat Sundays with your sons
I
on
think
a
so.
Sunday.
You know who doesn't care at all about National Sun Day or celebrate your Sunday or whatever?
Moms that have daughters.
No, my sons.
Oh,
They don't care. They would actually prefer that not happen. They would prefer that I never ever mention them ever on social media, that I never bring them up, that I never make a post about how much I love them. And how do people know they were loved before Facebook told them? You know what I mean?
oh, they didn't.
Okay.
In fact, so, I stayed up very late last night. I didn't get to bed till, like, I don't know, 5 or something. So, because first I was working on a project, with my daughter-in-law, whom I love. Okay, said it out loud. And so we were working on a project for her, and then around midnight, I'm like, "You need to go home. It's been a long time, don't worry about it." And she was gonna come back again today. But then one of my sons came home, and he wanted to talk. So when you get that opportunity to spend time talking with one of your adult sons or teenage whatever, you take that time. And so while we were talking, I finished the project she and I were working on, you know,
Yes.
so which was wonderful, because she was going to come back today, and I'm like, so my husband showed me how to, when you do a text, you can like time it or schedule it. So it's five
What?
o'clock.
You can schedule a text?
Yes. So I scheduled it to show up at her, to show on her device at like 10:30 or something. Like, don't worry, got them all done.
What?
Yeah. We'll talk about that later. Yeah, but you could schedule a text. Totally. Anyway, I think you open it up and you go to like the three buttons on the side, and then it'll pop up all sorts of stuff, and you could schedule a text for later on. Anyway, so I was able to schedule her a text, and that way I didn't have to text her at 5 in the morning or whatever, like, "Hey, I got it done." Because then why? Wake her up? Point is,
I don't see that anywhere. Also, I'm the person who's half an hour late because I can't even get my computer to start. So,
yeah, we'll walk you through that a little bit later. Anyway, so I spent time with my son talking about it
mhm.
because it's going back to, how did people know? So we have 4 boys, and only one of them actually listened to what Ross and I said, but he took it a completely different direction through his whole life, through his whole. I was like, oh no, no, we were being funny when we said that, but he's taken it as a truth. Um, about the how do people know that you're loved? So
Yes.
we heard this a long time ago, so we've just kind of implemented it, into our life. Uh, I said that I loved you when I married you. If that changes, I'll let you know.
Yes.
So
That's so not right.
it's so not right. So we've told him that. So he's, a young single man. So he's dated some girls, and some of them are like, how come you never show me affection? I like words of affection. And he's like, what? I told you once. I'll let you know if it changes.
That's so wrong. Michele,
Yeah. So
that was a mistake you need to correct.
yeah, but it worked out because that was definitely not the girl for him. Anyway, so if you're gonna break up over that, come on. Anyway,
I would break up over that. If someone told me that they love me and then they were like, and that's it, that's the only time I'm ever going to tell you, I would so break up with that person. I need to know that I'm loved. I want you to tell me, because my brain is like, oh, you're mad because I got a flat tire again and it was my fault because I decided to do a project in the driveway with 427 screws and a sawhorse, and I drove over it for a second time, and I'm not sure why that you have a right to get angry, but when someone gets mad at me, I need to know they love me, and if they don't tell me, that's so wrong.
see,
We
but my
say it all
husband,
the time. My family says I love you all the time, and they never act like it. That's why they have to say it. You got to say
well,
it.
but that's the thing. We back it up with action.
Yeah, that's too
So
much work. Just say it, and then you don't have to do anything. I tell my boys, I'm like, all right, tell me you love me. Like, I have to tell them, I tell them that. When they leave the house, I will hug them and I say, I love you. Tell me you love me. I think they're saying I love you. I'm really not sure. They could be saying what, but in my brain, I interpret it as I love you. That's not right. Hey, and speaking of, you talked about your
yeah.
daughter-in-law. I think that's
Mhm.
like the worst term ever. But also, I don't like to be patronized either. Like, you hear
Yeah.
people call their daughter-in-law their daughter-in-love.
Yeah.
Have you ever said that? She's my daughter-in-love. Because when you say daughter-in-law, it's like she's only my family because there's a legal document that forces me to acknowledge her existence in my life.
Yeah. And then if you say, then if you go with, well, she's my daughter, you know,
Right.
then that's a whole nother, you know, things that go with that. And that I don't know, it's a weird thing, but she knows that I love her and I know that she loves me, and we have, we have a great time together. And she's so young. I mean, I looked at her the other day and I was like, you look really young. And of course I was feeling really old too, but I just looked at her and thought, she's really young. I mean, she's got that youthful face and, everything's all tight and you know what I mean? And just
Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful woman. And
Yeah, I
anyway,
know that face. I look at it every morning, Michele. That
you got a picture of her?
I do. I have a picture of your daughter-in-law right by the mirror in my house. I'm just like, look at that beautiful face. Look at that youngin. She's such a beautiful youngin. You do have the most beautiful granddaughter ever, and 50% of that is because you have a beautiful daughter-in-law. Like, oh
Oh
my god.
yeah.
She's a doll baby. I get to get
She's
Marcos from Michele of her granddaughter waving, and now she's saying hi and all of that. But I did have to make fun of you
she's
the other day
stunning. Yeah.
because every Marco, for like 5 Marcos in a row, you had your granddaughter and you were like, say hi, tell them hi, say hi. And I'm like, stop it. She doesn't want to say hi. She doesn't even like me.
You got to meet her in real
I
life.
did. I got to hold
So
her for a
you
long
did.
time. And when you guys were in Nashville, she let me hold her for a long time.
Yep.
Yeah. You know what I did yesterday? I went to
Picked up the
soccer practice.
screws.
No.
Wait, what? Soccer practice?
Soccer practice.
Whose?
I'm a good. What, you don't think I could play soccer?
I did play soccer. I'm thinking no.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to tell you, I scored 3 times yesterday. 3
What?
times. I know. Are you impressed?
Were you playing like 2-year-olds? What happened here?
They were 4 years old. 2. Come on. I got to take my twin nephews to soccer practice yesterday.
Oh,
And
fun.
listen, when I tell you like their soccer coach, he's like a paid coach with Parks and Rec. He's Australian. He's Australian. He had this crazy cool accent, and his hair looked just like mine today. I got my hair up in a man bun, but it's a woman bun. He had the little man bun up on his head, and basically it's just playing some games with children. But when I tell you I think there were a couple of kids that were like barely 3 years old.
Wow.
That were there playing. And the boys, their family's tall, so they look older than they are, but they literally just turned 4 years old. Oh my goodness, it was so much fun. It was so much fun. They played games where they like the parents are inside the cones and you're inside the castle, and the kids have to kick the ball so many times to try to get to the castle, and then they switch it around and stuff. But it blew my mind that the kids complied better than the parents did, because the game was like the kids were supposed to say like, "Hey, Mr. Wolf, what time is it?" And the parents were supposed to say, "It's 3:00." And then they have to kick the ball 1, 2, 3 times.
Oh, okay.
Then they yell it again. "Hey, Mr. Wolf, what time is it?" And the parents have to say whatever o'clock. When I tell you, he explained the instructions to the parents and grandparents, and the kids are like, "Hey, Mr. Wolf, what time is it?" The parents are like, I'm like, really? Somebody say so. He explained the instructions, and 2 and 4-year-olds got it. And everybody just, I'm like all about the fun. So I'm like, "It's 4:00." Like I'm having a big time.
You're in.
Like nobody else is gonna play this game. It felt so much like elementary school, or no, like maybe 6th grade, when everybody thought they were too cool to use their imagination and play games in PE, and I was still all like, "No, I'm a ninja." I'm like, I'm into whatever game that the PE teacher had come up with. I'm gonna do it. But it was so much fun. But I didn't expect to be so active. Like you didn't just go and bring them. Every activity there was a parent playing with their child, which was really cool. It was just a really neat thing.
So did you get to go fast yesterday?
I went so fast. But let me tell you where else I went. I went so fast up to the bathroom because somebody keeps encouraging me to drink a bunch of water. So I barely made it through practice, which was great because I got to use one of the kids. I was like, "Hey, Tommy, don't you need to go pee-pee?" And he's like, "No." And I'm like, "I think you do. You look like you
Potty
do."
break.
Like, okay. So
And it was the other twin that actually had to go.
yes. Yeah. They're, oh my gosh, they're hilarious too. I got a McDonald's, and then I took them to the park after their practice. And man, their dad's a pastor, my nephew. Their mom went to Bible college as well, and they are just such a faithful, rooted family. And at 4 years old, these little dudes, like, they talk about God all the time. In the car, they were like, "Let's jam out to some cool music." And I'm like, "All right, what do you want to listen to?" And they're like, "Them bones, dry bones." Do you know that song?
Yeah.
"Hear the word of the Lord." Yeah. So I had to find dim bones. And then we got our McDonald's set out on the picnic table. And I said, "All right, boys, do you guys want to pray?" And they were like, "Yeah." And the first twin was like, "Dear God, thank you for June Bug, and McDonald's, and the playground, and amen." And I looked over at the other one. I go, "Okay, it's your turn." And he goes, "No, I don't need to." Apparently his brother did a fine job and he didn't have to do a second prayer. I like the way you think, buddy. I like the way you think. So yeah, I'm pretty much a soccer star now.
I believe it. Yeah, you look like a soccer star. Like you're all sparkly, like you've won. You're in the Olympics. You got the gold happening.
This is sporty chic. I was inspired by, look at the cone head I have now.
Okay, for our listeners, you have to tune into YouTube to see. June just put her hoodie up on top of the bun that's on top of her head, So it was a high head there. You had a very tall head. You
Yes.
are very tall, but now you just added like 5 inches to your body there.
Did you do that? Did you put like a ponytail on the top of your head whenever you were a little kid and you tried to go to like amusement parks and you wanted to be able to ride something besides like the little tiny kid rides? Did you have to, like when you were in high school,
No.
did you have to poof your hair up so they would let you ride rides, Michelle?
This is the longest my hair has ever been. Um, my hair as a child was always short.
Yes.
Always short. I don't recall it being long. I had the curls. It was just, yeah, short hair all the time. Dorothy Hamill look for a long time.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I rode horses, and so I always had a helmet on, and so I didn't like the back of my neck, with hair, and then it would just because I was hot
Uh,
and sweaty, and I
did
like
anybody ever mistake you for a boy? Because I couldn't grow my hair. And my first crush was at a bowling alley, and the little boy played with me for like 3 weeks in a row. Every time my grandma would bowl on a Friday night, and then one day he said, "Hey kid, you never told me your name," and I was like, "Oh," and I thought, "Oh my gosh," because he's loving me the way I love him now. And I said, "I'm Junebug," and he said, "Oh, it's a stupid name for a boy." Michelle, for 3 weeks, this kid thought I was a boy. He thought he was just playing with another little boy. I had no hair. Devastated. Okay, listen, I'm going to give you the tip of the week. We just want to check in with you guys this week, and we've got some cool episodes coming up. We've got Brian Kahatsu who's going to join us. So if you're a comedian and you are interested in hosting shows, Brian's going to talk with us about basically an event he and I are going to get to host that Michelle is a part of, and just maybe some hosting tips and the things you should or shouldn't do, and maybe some stories about some weird things that Brian
Yeah.
did. So that's really cool. And also coming up is the amazing, the one and only TC Stallings. That's right. TC Stallings is going to be joining us, I think, on our next episode, right, Michelle? So our next episode
I
should be
believe so.
and man, this guy he's an actor. He was an athlete, professional athlete. He is my acting coach, and he has some really big projects coming up on Amazon right now. You can go, or you can go to his TC Stallings Life. Actually, I'll go there. He's got a comic book called Godsend, and it is really cool, action packed, and you can purchase that on his website. So we'll talk more about that next week. But anyway, we are thrilled to death. He was a star of War Room. He was in My Brother's Keeper. He's on the show Vindication. Like, this guy is as legit as it gets. And so we've got him coming up on a future episode.
Wait a minute, June. Are you telling me that for a comedy podcast, we're going to have an actor? Wait, do those things go together? Do comedians ever choose to be actors? Wait,
I
what?
don't, I don't know, Michelle. How many times have you been booked to do acting roles and backgrounds and
Oh,
I don't
that's
know,
true.
maybe on one of the most famous American movies of all time, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, you may have started out in the background there. So yeah, what's really
Yeah.
cool is the combination. First of all, he has a comic book, okay, not a book for comedians, but
Yeah.
literally an action-packed comic book. I guess that's what you call it, right?
Yeah.
Comic. Okay,
Yeah. It's comic
and
book. Graphic novel
graphic
is.
novel. So the graphic novel is where you can get all episodes in one.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that when he's on the show. But anyway, but in between time, you're welcome to go check him out. TC Stallings Life. Um, anyway, yeah, a lot of comedians do acting as well. We've got a lot of friends
Yes.
from Joey ILO, who was just recently in Running the Bases, to our friend Rick Roberts, to Leland
Jeff
Clausen,
Allen.
Jeff Allen, Robert G. Lee. Yeah, it's it kind of goes hand in hand. There's a lot of comedians who do acting as well. So that's going to be cool to hear about TC's program for actors and about the projects that he has coming up. So I'm excited to talk about that. Okay, and in the in-between time, and I will say TC is somebody who's kind of given me this tip before. The tip this week is go fast. Okay, not fast like TC running across the football field,
Yeah.
but go fast from social media.
Oh,
Yeah.
like don't eat stuff or don't
Yeah.
see stuff.
Yeah, don't consume. So when you fast, you deny yourself of something, right? And we know that as comedians, social media platforms are a pretty big deal. That's how a lot of people get books or get bookings. Um, a lot of times you've got like different clubs who are like, how many followers do you have, and all of those things. But what research is showing, and I don't think research, we even need research information. Anybody who's been on social media very long knows that it can be toxic. It can be mentally draining to be on social media all the time. And so studies have shown that if you fast, if you give yourself time away from that, I don't believe anybody's career is going to crash because they decide to do 24 hours without social media. If that makes your heart kind of stop beating for a second, if I say, can you get off social media for 24 hours? And that makes your heart like takes the breath out of you, you probably are on the edge of an addiction, if not addicted to social media. I find myself wasting time scrolling through things because it's an escape for me. It's a mental, I will check out when I feel overwhelmed or frustrated. Today, that would be really easy for me to do when I can't get my computer to work and nothing seems to be working right. Then I just give up on the day and I'll sit and scroll and look at stuff. And so it's not always the healthiest thing to do. And if thinking about going just one day without social media sounds difficult to you, then you probably need to go at least one day without social media. And what happens is I believe the times that I got to a point where I was checking my email, I was checking this and that and have my phone in my hand all the time, that I would set a timer for myself for 2 hours. I would just set a timer and go, okay, sit down, step away. Don't look at your phone. Don't look at social media. Do nothing but whatever it was I was trying to accomplish for the day on the to-do list that didn't have to do with my cell phone, whether it's writing a bit or just getting some things done around the house or filing some paperwork, whatever. I set a timer. It reduces anxiety if you get off social media. It can increase your self-esteem because you're comparing yourself to other people all the time. There are comedians that I know, but I don't know. They're not my friends. And I can see some of the stuff that they're doing. And I feel ineffective. I feel like, wow, look, everybody out here getting these jobs. And we know as comedians, I mean, there are some people undeniably, like Nate Bargatze's a great example of that. Dude selling out Bridgestone Arena and hosting Saturday Night Live. His schedule is legit his schedule. But for the most part, a lot of us, especially if you're new in the industry, part of the job is to look like you're busy, and so you'll see a lot of people posting their schedules. And I don't think that's a lie. I don't think it's fake, right?
8 a.m. wake up.
Yes.
8:15 brush teeth.
Yes. But I've had people where I've just put a few shows out and said, I got this, and this coming up. And people are like, oh my gosh, you're working so much. Oh, this, that. Where I look at it as like, oh no, man, I have like one gig in April, one in May, one in June. I feel like I'm not, but it's that comparison that's happening all the time. And when you step away from it, it can calm that anxiety. It can also help you focus on, like I said, setting that timer and going, there's stuff that I've been needing to get done. And I will, and it is a dopamine hit. It is just mentally like, I need to complete something. And with social media and TikTok and all of those things, it really it's never complete. You can just scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. So you kind of get the dopamine hit, but you're left feeling empty. It's not really fulfilling anything. But once you get away a little bit, you stop comparing yourself. You can have a little more peace. For people of faith like us, man, that's time you can spend with God. That's quiet time where you don't have all of these things rolling in your head. And then it can also stifle fear a little bit because speaking of the eclipse, coming up into this eclipse, every other video on social media was the world's gonna end, we're all gonna die, it's over, it's over, it's over, it's over. Are you prepared? Do you have your water? Is your mug, is the bunker ready? The alien people are coming after you. Like, I saw this one woman they were interviewing, and she was just so proud of talking about how she's part human and part alien, and she just had a baby, but the baby is human. But her relatives who are aliens who come by to visit, she tries to stick to their culture and letting them know how much alien of themselves they can show to the baby. And so she's part alien and part human. And I'm like,
So she's
I'm
from
part,
another country?
yeah,
Like,
no.
you know.
She was a whole like Zorkin, something lizard people.
Um,
I don't know what it was, but all I could think of is like, I'm part Cherokee. That's all I can relate to with this woman. But anyway, people are latching onto that and they're scared. They're scaring themselves to death. And the eclipse came and the eclipse went and lots of eclipse happened. And I do believe that, people of faith, we are supposed to be paying attention to what's going on in the world,
Yeah.
but we're not supposed to be of the world. We're not supposed to be,
Well,
yeah.
we're not of, yeah.
Yeah. And so, I mean, we live here, yes, but we don't need to be freaked out. And part of it is, I think, just controlling the information that's pounding you in the brain all day, every
Yeah.
day. So I know that's a long rant for the tip today.
Well,
but
you
I
have been on a rant today, so it's okay.
I told her I'm going to be a ranting comedian. All right. This is what I'm gonna.
Now, but here's the thing too, if you do fast social media or fast TV shows or movies or whatever is your thing that you cling to, um, you talked about it, the one thing that you didn't mention was when you release that kind of stuff and then you get a chance to breathe, then your creativity can kick back in.
Yeah.
And so that's a huge thing as, as a comedian, like if you're like, I'm hitting a wall. Well, you know what? You have writer's block because you're filling your creativity section of you with
Mhm.
all this other comparison stuff that you're talking about. So I concur. You should fast and fast well, because some people they get these personalities, where it's like they're all in or they're all out. So if
Yeah.
they're gonna fast everything. Eh, just pause for a minute
Yeah.
and look at what is doable. Because it like the same thing with when people go on diets or when they're like, I'm gonna do everything. And then, 2 hours in, they're like, I'm done.
Yeah.
No, you gotta look at and see what is doable for you. Maybe sometimes doing a fast every week, like one day a week. And that's, as Christians, as believers,
Ooh, I think that's a great idea.
we're supposed to already be, taking that time to spend our time with God. We're already supposed to be doing that. Why aren't we?
Yeah.
Why aren't we? And so I'm just, as a creative, we should be spending more time with the creator. Anyway, okay.
True,
So
true. And I'm sure it would make us a lot more creative. So, all right. So that's my tip of the week. Go fast. And I think that's going to be about it for this episode. Friends, if you are listening to us, make sure that you are watching us. Go to YouTube and check out the Laugh Support Podcast channel. Please make sure that that you like us on Facebook and Instagram, our social medias, and feel free to email us if you would like at thelaughsup@gmail.com. So yes, Michele.
wait, before we close out, I do want to talk about real quick what's coming up for me, what show's coming up.
Yeah.
And because we both have coming up soon as fundraisers. And
Yes.
so the one that I have coming up will be April 20th. It's at 7 p.m. It's at the Sand Springs Community Theater because we're raising funds for the theater, and it's a community theater, and they've been around I think since like 2007, and they do like 4 different things. Like they're right now, I think you can watch on Golden Pond. And so they always
Okay.
have a musical, they have a kids show, they they just have a variety of things each season, and they're really really good. And so we're going to be doing that coming up, and that's next weekend, not this weekend, but so it's the 20th of April, which is really cool. Now, your show coming up, you're doing a fundraiser, and it's Love and Laughter.
Yes, Love and Laughter to benefit the homeless in Boone County, Indiana. So it's super fun.
Indiana.
To be there with Rhonda Corey, Mike James, Brian Kahatsu, and our friend Dory McLemore. All of those folks have actually been guests on our podcast. So yeah, we love to be able to hit the Lebanon Christian Church. We love to be able to do comedy for whoever, but it's even more fun when you're getting to do comedy and you know that it's going to benefit people in the room because they're going to get the joy of laughter, and then it's going farther because the funds from that is going to help out someone in their community. So that's really cool. So I love that we're both getting to do that. And then I have another one coming up. I don't have a flyer or anything for, but I get to be at a music festival for Release the Hounds, which is it's a group that raises money and helps people with financial needs of their pets and those types of things, and so that's super cool too. So yeah, I'm excited.
Please tell me that your opening joke will be, "Who let the dogs out?"
Oh no, that's the song I'm coming out to. I'm gonna have them play that. So yeah, for sure. My dad's name is Hot Dog, so I got for this for sure. But yeah, okay. So now I'll really close it out. On top of listening to Laugh Support and watching us, Michele, if you would give the links, you guys can check the show notes to the links and stuff as far as like tickets or information about those two shows.
Yeah.
And then
my show, you get tickets at the door. Your show, you can get them online at loveincbc.org. So Lebanon Christian Church.
Yeah,
what'd you say?
Love Inc. BC, like LOVEINC.BC. Yeah, Boone County Love Incorporated. Boone
Got
County.
it.
Love Inc.
So much better.
.org. Look at the blonde, bringing it. All right, make sure you guys are following Michele at Michele with one L, Michele's Comedy on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and you can find me at Junebug Comedy on all of those platforms as well. So that's it. As I always say, Jesus and Junebug loves you, and I'm sorry for what Michele's about to do. Go ahead.
I wanted to know if you knew that the son ended up going to college.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really smart because he has like 1 million degrees. What? Okay. Thanks for tuning in. We will catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.